If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You say everyone wants high returns on investments, but the cost of being careless is much higher than you think. In this episode of Mindscale, I want to teach you how to avoid scam investment. This is literally life-changing. So join me. Hi there, welcome once again to the best thing since sliced bread. Yes, I'm talking about the Mindscale with Olushola. I'm first and foremost so excited at the feedback I've been getting. My team and I have been reveling in some of the kindest words that you guys have spoken to us, telling us how amazing each episode has been, and I'm so grateful. Keep the comments coming. Trust me, we can take them. All right, and it's on that note that I want to also give a gentle reminder for some of you who still are yet to subscribe to this channel. What's happening? Join the moving train and don't be left out. Trust me, we're on our road to 100,000 subscribers, and after that, it's going to be a jump towards 1 million. You have my word, and you want to say that you're one of the very first people to buy stocks in this enterprise from the early days. And so thank you so much once again. Ensure you like this video, subscribe, and also turn on post notifications so you'll be the very first person to know when next we drop a life-changing episode like this. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it. In this video, I want to give you, I would say, 6 steps or 6 key points to help you avoid scam investments. Now, when we talk about scam investments, I think that we underrate the effect of these kinds of investments. I've seen people's money and all that they have amassed and worked for all their lives be wiped away overnight just because they trusted a particular forum or they uploaded funds on a particular platform hoping that it yields returns for them in the immediate, only to find out that it was all a scam. And honestly speaking, even for some of the people who think they are most cautious, they really still end up falling for these scams. And sometimes it's not even just easy to blame the people who are victims of this nonsense, okay? I think that sometimes for some people, they just fell into the scam because they were not knowledgeable enough. You know, very recently, I was in a conversation with a couple, 2 well-meaning, great people, and they actually told me how they fell for a similar scam without knowing. I mean, literally all the amount of money they had put together, a good part of it went into that particular platform, and they thought it would yield specific results. I think at some point they even felt like they were recommended to the platform by some people they thought knew what they were doing. That's another thing I'm going to talk about. But in the end, it turned out that that was never the case. So in this video, I want to put to bed, okay, conversations like that, and I want to help you make better decisions with your finances by teaching you how to avoid scams. There are telltale signs. There are things to note, and I want to help you. And so the first thing I'll tell you is do not be greedy. I think over 70% of the people who fall for scam investments are actually greedy. Yes, and greed is something you must pay attention to. You know, when the desire for quick wealth becomes excessive, people stop asking critical questions. You stop asking questions that you're supposed to ask in the very first place. And so a lot of people want wealth without the wait. A lot of people want to be rich so quickly, and that's why they end up falling into these scams. The very first thing I'm going to say is this: whenever you are trying to make money, understand that there's a reason it's called wealth building. And like every other building, it will take time. It will definitely take time to move your finances from where it is to where the desired level might be. And so understand it will take time. I can't be wealthy overnight. You can't move from being a pauper to being someone who has $1 million in his account in just one day. Chances are, in 99.9% of those cases, right, except you won a lottery, it must have been through a scam investment that might have paid off for you, but might not pay off for other people. And that's the truth. And so I think the major thing that magnets people to scam investments is that desire to get wealthy so fast. This is the main Achilles heel. And so a greedy investor does not calculate ROI. Instead, they imagine the lifestyle that they hope to have with this particular investment. Just think about it. They'll tell you if you bring 5,000, we'll multiply it in the next 3 days. And when you bring other people, we'll keep on multiplying and multiplying. All of a sudden, your mind just goes to what you can achieve or accomplish in your life with that money. You begin to imagine the cars and the houses you can buy and how your life will move from one level to another. And all of a sudden, it kind of blocks your critical thinking and just taps into your imagination. And that's very interesting because this is one of the major causes. If you go and ask almost everyone who has ever been scammed and who went into these investments and these forums knowingly, it was really greed that pushed them, right? And so greed is dangerous. It has a way of clouding your judgment. It has a way of accelerating impatience and making you ignore wisdom even when it is very obvious. And so without greed, scam will have no power over you. I need to be very clear about that. But anyways, that leads me to the second thing that I want to say to help you avoid scam investments. The next thing is that you need to learn to check credentials, right? Check the credentials of whoever it is or whatever platform it is that you plan to invest with. What are their credentials? By their credentials, I'm talking about qualifications. I'm talking about when the company was registered. So you have to ensure, for example, that the company is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission of whatever country you're in. Ensure that regulatory bodies, okay, like the SEC or the CBN are involved. And so you must do what we call due diligence. Find out the status of this brand or the business or whatever they call themselves. You know, the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commissions in Nigeria, in 2023 said about 75% of the scams that happen, right, were actually by firms that were not registered. Once again, it brings the subject of greed to fore. Because you are in a hurry to make money, because you want to get rich so quick, sometimes you forget or fail to check. I will tell you, check. No matter how much people might have recommended the brand to you, no matter how many times they must have told you these guys are the best thing since sliced bread, I want to advise you to please check. Check yourself. A Google search will help you. Beyond the Google search, go to the Corporate Affairs Commission and perhaps just do a search on the website and do so many things and ensure that to a given extent there is verification, because there's something that verification and registration does. It gives some level of accountability. Before it means that those who registered the business, for example, are traceable, and you can also see a history of how long they've been existing. This is very vital. And that leads me to the third thing I want to say that I think will help you to avoid scam investment. And it is that you need to learn to understand the investment. You must understand the investment. I have a rule that I will never put my money in something that I have not fully understood or something I have not duly understood. This is important. And a lot of times people fall prey to high-sounding terminologies, right? Or specific investment. They tell you, oh, you can't understand. You must do this, do this, do this, do this, do that. I'm not saying you must understand everything. What I'm simply saying is that the basics should not be too hard enough for you to comprehend. Understand how this money will generate more. If someone just tells you, put your money in this stuff and it will make you more money, how? Is there demand and supply? How? Is there purchase? How is the revenue coming in? How will this business grow? Or how will this investment generate more funds for me? And so, listen, if it is too complex to explain simply, then that is a red flag. I repeat, if it is too complex to explain simply, then it is a red flag. And so you must avoid investments like that. There was a data by CBN. They conducted a survey in 2022, and that survey showed that about 6 in 10 victims of investment fraud admitted that they did not fully understand the scheme before committing funds to it. Can you see what I'm talking about? So a lot of times it's just out of a haste, it's just out of greed. There's all the other points I'm going to say. Greed is, in many cases, the most underlying factor, the biggest root in all of these particular points. And so it's important. You must do due diligence. You must understand. You must be knowledgeable about the investment. Don't let anyone rush you. If they tell you, oh, you can't get it, if they send you one small form, you yourself read extra. At least try to know to a given extent. I'm not saying you know everything, What I'm saying is principally, right, you must seek to know enough before you can put your money. Another thing I'll also say is it's okay to test the waters. Don't go all in immediately. This is important. So test the waters with some money for some period of time and then see how it germinates for you before you go in again. This is very important. Now, the next thing I want to say is that, which is the point number 4, is that you must be wary of guaranteed returns. This one is very tricky because, first and foremost, many of the lowest risk investments that I do have guaranteed returns. By guaranteed returns, we're talking about maybe you're trying to invest in a savings app and they tell you put money here, you're going to get so and so percent, or you're trying to do money markets, or you want to do ETFs, or you want to do treasury bills. Most of them already have guaranteed returns. Yes. However, okay, there are some businesses or some investments where guaranteed returns can serve as a red flag. Because you see, legitimate investments actually carry risks. And so when people give you promises of huge and quick returns, they are classic red flags and you must run. They tell you, we'll give you 30% per month. First and foremost, any business or any investment, personally, I think, that offers you a guaranteed more than 3.5% per month is very tricky. Very, very tricky. This is me talking. I'm not asking you to borrow this. I think I'll say any investment that offers you more than 4% per month is already a red flag for me, right? Because that's about 48% per annum. And if you've been around the block for a while, you understand that how does that really add up? Where are they making money from? And also remember that they are using your money to trade, which means they must also be able to make some proceeds on your money before they can now hand it back to you. And so you must be careful. All those businesses or all those investment platforms that offer you or promise you guaranteed results are big red flags. You know, this is actually the playbook of those Ponzi schemes. They will tell you every single month we give you 30%. There was one then, I think it was MMM. Then there have been so many. I remember the MMM own was that we were going to give you 30% per month, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 1% per day. And it just kept on climbing and climbing and climbing. They gave you guarantees. And in more cases than not, because they want to get more people on the platform, they would actually pay out the first set of people, pay out the second set of people, pay out the third set, and somewhere around the fourth or fifth installment, they just get your money hooked in it, and that's how you never get it again. They give you guarantees, they promise you results. Once the promises and the guarantees are beginning to look unreasonable, I think something is wrong. Another thing also, if you're going to be a good investor, you must keep yourself abreast with the current happenings in society. You must understand what's happening. You must understand what works and what doesn't work. You must be studious enough to painstakingly go through the process of imbibing the right knowledge. You must learn. You must learn. Learn. What's happening? What investments are the best? Which ones will work out and which ones won't? Now, that way, it will be easy for you to spot the scams in the midst of it all. And so I hope that helps. And that leads me to the 5th point, which is you must learn to avoid pressure tactics. Avoid pressure tactics. There are so many times that when I'm speaking to business owners, I always advise them to use FOMO as a tactic to maybe sell a service or sell a product, which works. You hear things like there are only 3 products left, only 2 plots left, only this left. For high-ticket sales, it also works also. Maybe there's a slot to a conference or there's a slot to a particular cohort for a coaching group, which is good. You can use FOMO and many more things. But you see, for investments, more cases than not, FOMO is actually a red flag. And so one of the things you see scammers do is that they create a sense of urgency. You hear things like it's only 24 hours left. You hear things like it's only 10 hours left. You hear things like we're only picking 2 more people. That's interesting, okay? If you were to be within a legitimate structure, that's fair. But this is actually what many scammers do. They do this to push you into skipping due diligence. This is important. They try to make you make a hurried decision. And so because you're being pushed by greed, you now forget. You forget to verify. You commit so soon, you don't pause and think before verifying. And so what I would say is, don't let anybody pressure you into making an investment. Don't let anybody pressure you into making an investment. Let me tell you something. If it was that juicy, right, and if it was that guaranteed, let the people who started the investments also empty their accounts to put their monies into it. And so here's the point. Just ensure that nobody pressures you. Nobody creates a FOMO reaction to make you think that you're truly going to miss out on something life-changing. Yes, maybe life-changing negatively because you'll run away with your money. And so you must be careful. It's easy and very easy to lose money no matter how slowly it took for you to build and amass it. And so you must be careful. All the diligence that it took for you to gather that money, you must apply that same diligence and attention to ensuring that that money is retained. Because return of investment is better than return on investment. It's better that I get my money back than for my money to not come back because I'm looking to make a whole lot on it. Capital is more important than profits. This is important. And that leads me to the final point, which I think will help you if you're able to employ it in your own life and in your own choosing. It is that you need to learn to verify testimonials and reviews. You must verify testimonials and you must verify reviews. You need to find a way of going the extra mile, right? To look for independent proof, not just what is staged, not just the stage success stories, because many scammers often hire actors, okay? Or they use fake social media pages with fake number of followers and create funny profiles just to try to act credible. And so you must spot it. You must be able to read within the lines. First and foremost, check when the pages were created, okay? Check the like to follower ratio. And even if the likes are looking so many, it could have been bought. And so check who they tagged. Check also the track record of the people who they claim are successes by reason of that platform. Go and check their LinkedIn, check the names, make sure these things check out. And if possible, know at least 2 people who have also enjoyed success in these platforms legitimately before you try to dive in. This is important. You can never be too careful. But more important, I think one of the things I'll say is, I've also seen cases where people miss out on legitimate investments because they were too scared. And so you must make sure that your cautiousness does not lead you into the arena of fear to the point that you miss out on great opportunities. So what I'll tell you is also learn to go small before going big. Sometimes you could just expose yourself just by 10% of your liquidity and then let that fly for about a year and then you go in again. Because once again, return of investment is better than return on investment. Capital is greater than profit. This, I hope, helps. And this leads me to the very end of this amazing conversation. I hope it was so stirring enough and intellectually stimulating for you to at least learn a thing or two. And if this was of help in any way, I want to say that you should kindly like this video to ensure that the algorithm takes it to more people. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And also do me a favor. Why not share this with a friend, right? A friend that you know sometimes jumps into investments or might have gotten their fingers burnt once or twice, and just share with them and tell them this is good stuff and they could actually learn a thing or two from it. It's been amazing coming your way. I'm still Olushola and this is still Mindscale. And let me also use the opportunity to say that if there's anyone watching this that has been scammed in any way possible in recent time, I just want to say that I'm rooting for you to bounce back. I want to say that don't beat yourself up too much. I know it's hard, but believe that if you were able to work to make money, you can also do it again. And I just want to tell you that with more knowledge now, you'll be better off for it. And I hope this video has been of help one way or another. Thank you so much and see you in the next episode of Mindscale. Ciao.